I'm backing up my truck, I'm gonna hook it up, loading up my boat with all my gear. I've been working hard all week, trying to make ends meet, spending time wishing I was fishing. Whoa, Terry Wickstrom wants to take you fishing. Gather up your gear and come along. Whoa, Terry Wickstrom wants to take you fishing.
This is Terry Wickstrom. Join Karen Cullum, Greg Claudio, and me as we take you to some of our favorite fishing spots from Colorado to Minnesota, the Arctic Circle to Central America and beyond, as we revisit episodes of Mountain States Fishing and Angling Adventures Television on the best of fishing with Terry Wickstrom.
Hey, I'm here with Dan Horath, and you're the director and actually the owner of the Wyoming Walleye Circuit.
Yep, my wife Jennifer and I took over last fall.
That would be the fall of 2001.
Yes, sir.
And you are, we're here at Boysen Reservoir, and we're here for the Governors Cup, which is the final event of your tour. And what we're going to do is we're going to take you out, show you the reservoir, and Dan's going to show us a little bit about the Wyoming Walleye Circuit is about now, because you've made some changes.
Yeah, we went to instead of a actual weight scoring, we went to a length weight conversion, and I'll show you some of that when we get out there this afternoon.
So we're going to show you a little bit about Boysen Reservoir, talk a little bit about tournament fishing, and mostly just get you introduced to if you haven't seen it before, the Wyoming Walleye Circuit and some of the changes that have taken place. So Dan, you actually kind of helped out with the tournament before in the years past, didn't you?
Yeah, I worked for Eric when he owned it, the former director, and weighing fish and doing the launches and getting the whole thing set up. So when I took this over, I had a really a good idea of what to do and how it was going, and I got really good help, the same guys that helped me before. Chad Bellman, who was Eric's weighmaster for all those years, helps me, and he rides around with me and helps me run the tournament, and have a lot of good help still, like Eric did.
Yeah, he did. Then, all right, there's one. Not a big one, but finally got a fish. There we go. Oh, little walleye.
The little eater.
Yeah. Oh, that's a nice. You know what? This is the best eating size. Since I'm not in the tournament, I might just throw one or two in a live well just to keep.
Yeah.
But it's a eating size Boysen walleye. Maybe a little, that's a little on the small side. I think I'll let that one go.
Yeah, in a tournament situation, that's not a legal fish. They have to be 15 inches.
Yeah, what is the limit here for walleyes for just the average weekend angler?
It's 6 per day.
6 per day.
Yeah.
And what's any size length?
No, the Game and Fish Department doesn't require, any length to keep. There's no slot limit or anything on our lakes. I require, for the tournament that the guys have to have at least 15 inches.
Yeah, and that's good. And then you're releasing most of those fish.
Yeah.
And that's pretty common. But we got a couple. Let's try for a couple more, and then we've got to get headed out and see what's going on in the tournament.
All right, sounds good.
So how have the guys accepted? I mean, the new system is they don't have to run in either with their fish, because you've got boats positioned without the lake. They come up to these boats. Your guys get right in their boat. They take the fish out of the live well. You measure them, record them, and then they let them go, and they're allowed to catch more fish. And they can weigh them sooner, so they don't have to keep fishing their live well.
Right, and it's a great system, because if we were fishing this tournament, instead of filming, we could catch 5 walleyes, run to the nearest weigh station, measure them, get those 5 on our weigh card, and go back out and try to upgrade. We got 7 more fish to upgrade with. Yeah, to try to catch that big fish.
And how's the acceptance been?
Oh, everybody loves it. Nobody's complained. Everybody, they just keep telling me, we like anytime you can upgrade and not have to worry about whether you're going to get 5 and throw fish back all day because they're not what you like. Now you're almost guaranteed 5 fish if you can catch them.
Right, because you can record them. So before you had to make a decision with the old tag system, and you had to decide whether you were going to keep a fish as soon as you caught it. And once you did, if you caught your 5, then caught a bigger fish later, you were done.
You were done.
Actually, you could add 1 extra. You could have 6. but you could have one and you were done. So it's really, I think, is well accepted, and you get the fish released a lot sooner, so it's easier on the fish this way.
A lot easier. At our Glendo tournament, the 1st and 2nd of June, the anglers caught 1,431 walleyes in 2 days. That's 156 teams, and we lost 11 fish.
Well, that's great.
I mean, that's a pretty good live release percentage there, and that's only because these walleyes aren't sitting in live wells getting beat up all day.
Okay.
So they get measured and they're out.
We know, Dan, we're trying to sneak a little fishing in here. They launched the boats this morning. We're trying to sneak in a little fishing, see if we can catch fish ourselves, maybe show the people the lake a little bit. But we probably got to head out pretty soon so we can kind of see what's going on in the tournament. What do you do during the course of the day?
One of the things I do is I'll run around and see where everybody's at. I like to make sure everybody's okay and there's no boat problems. And oh, looky there, I caught a sucker.
Yeah, thanks, pal.
Just kidding.
Caught me.
One thing I like to do, I like to inspect boats. One way you can keep people from cheating, and I hate to say that people do, but you know, it happens, is I'll get in boats and I'll look in their live wells and make sure that they don't have 5 fish. And if they have 5, they're not supposed to be fishing. You know, once you get the 5,
You're
supposed to come weigh them. And we look for that, and you know, we look for different things, and you know, I run around, I check on my weigh boats, and you know, see how my guys are doing out there, and guys and gals, and just kind of try to run the tournament and do this once in a while if we're lucky. Stop somewhere if there's no weigh boats or no tournament boats and do a little fishing.
Now, you did the tournaments this year. You did Glendo, Keyhole, and then Boysen. Next year you might do some different lakes.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna keep Keyhole because it's a great early bite. It's, you know, it's pre-spawn sometimes, the good fish, and then we did, of course, Glendo, and I'm thinking about throwing Pathfinder in. That's another lake on the Platte. It's south of Casper.
I've always wanted to fish Pathfinder, and I always thought that it would be a great lake, but they've never been a major tournament on Pathfinder, has there?
Not that I know of. There's some club tournaments and some local stuff. There's a lot of nice walleyes, eaters as people call them, and there's some big hogs in there too. It's a great lake.
How soon do people have to sign up if they want to get involved with the Wyoming Walleye Circuit?
Next year, usually around the 1st of every year, I'll have my brochures and all that literature and stuff out. And you can call me for one of those, or you can email us. And we're always on Walleye Central too.
Well, we'll put those phone numbers and those email numbers on the screen now, and then again in the credits we'll run that so you can get a hold of them. But how soon is it too late? I mean, when is it too late to sign up?
Well, it depends. A lot of the too late depends on the tournament. We have an early registration we call the early bird, and guys can send in, and that's usually by the end of March.
Okay.
And those guys, we get a lot of products and stuff, you know, given to us by certain companies, and we have drawings for those. And that's just kind of an incentive for people to get their money in early, and they get a chance to get some nice prizes. We get reels and lures and line and all that kind of stuff. So,
but the tournaments can fill up, and you may have openings the day of the tournament, but they have been known to fill up and not be able to get in.
Yeah, you know,
also.
like Glendo, we were full 2 weeks before the tournament, and people wanted to get in. And if I have room, you know, I set my payouts on a certain amount. Like this tournament was 130, only had 116. Glendo, I took 157, and I wanted 150. So you can still get in after the deadline if we're not too full.
Okay.
Because I don't want to get more boats on a lake than we can handle or the lake will support.
Well, we ought to get back out and see what's going on with the tournament, and maybe we'll get to do a little fishing later, and we'll see what's going on. So I think we'll reel in and head out and see what the tournament boats are doing. We're actually here at the mouth of Muddy Bay. We've got, seems to be the hot spot. It's probably the largest concentration of boats in the tournament. And we've probably got people pulling crawler harnesses, jigging, probably even a few people pulling crankbaits. Now, there seems to be people catching fish in a variety of ways. A number of fish have been brought in, and they say weighed, but they actually measure it and convert it to weight. Might have a fish on here. I don't know. Is this guy got, no, he's just reeling in. So we're going to cruise around a little bit and see if we can see a few people catching fish, and talk about the different tactics and see There's Steve Tizer. In fact, we're gonna head right over and talk to Steve. He's one of the best, probably one of the most knowledgeable fishermen in the tournament. Steve writes for people like Walleye Insider, and he's pulling crankbaits. I'll get up close enough without interfering to see what's going on. You know, Steve's pulling crankbaits here, which you've seen myself and Gary Darling do quite often on the show. Very effective way to cover water when the fish are spread out. Pulling planer boards with crankbaits like that allows you to control a wide spread and get your lines out away from the boat so that you don't spook the fish. Very common in walleye tournament fishing. Very effective way to cover water. Here we got a tournament boat catching a fish. They were pulling bottom bouncers. You know, a lake like this is really, you can fish, you're not limited to one style of fishing here.
No, we're sitting here throwing jigs and catching fish, and they're 50 feet away catching them on a crawler harness.
Yep, and then there's a lot of people that have been pulling crankbaits. We talked to some people just a little while ago, they're using lead core line to pull spinners for suspended fish 15 feet deep over 40 feet of water. So, you know, not all the fish are always doing, oh yeah.
There's a good wear.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Job, Scott.
Now bottom bouncer. So there's a number of ways, you know, most of these Wyoming lakes, in fact, walleye fishing in general, people sometimes get stuck in one way of fishing. Trolling tends to win a lot of tournaments because you cover a lot of water, but if you got a good jig or rig bite going on, it's fun and you can put some big fish in the boat. There you go. Another eater size.
Yeah.
You know what, let's start throwing a few in the live well since we're not in the tournament. You know what, I hate to say it, but that might even be bigger than the one I had.
If it is, not very much.
What do you think? We'll try for a couple bigger ones or keep a couple?
Oh, this is the best size to eat.
Let's throw a few in the live well.
Where's he at? Here?
Put them right in here and we'll get some water in there.
Yeah, that's only about a 14.5-inch walleye.
Just lift it up
They
and turn
can't
it. Turn it. There you go.
can't measure that
Got
one
water.
anyway.
Okay. Here we go. All right. Good job.
Well, even a blind pig gets an acorn once in a while.
Well, we're off that shelf now.
Yeah, we're kind of
on it, aren't
on
we?
it here.
All we're doing here is, you know, we're out watching the tournament boats. So we thought we'd do a little fishing in between. We're just using jigs. There's a lot of guys in this tournament pulling crankbaits. There's a lot of guys using bottom bouncers. Jigs are a fun way to fish, especially if you're not being real serious about it. So what we're just doing, there's a shelf here from 12, drops off into 20-some feet of water. We're just running jigs. Another area we're at, we're fishing by a bank and a drop off. And we're just using, I'll show you what we're using here. In fact, I got too much night crawler on this one. Don't even need that much.
We're off of it.
But we're using, I got about a 1/4-ounce jig head, Berkeley power grub, and a piece of night crawler. Just working that along the bottom in this flat and picking up a few small fish and having a good time. It's when you don't have to go to the scale, you know, a few small fishes makes for a fun day.
And I'm just using just a 3-inch brown and orange power grub and no bait.
Yeah, a lot of times if you're working these areas like this and moving the jig, actually you can fish faster and catch more fish with no bait because you can keep moving, you know, worry about rebaiting and you can move it quicker.
It's not my reel. That's my excuse today, at least. But you know, I don't have I don't have the fishing skills that like my dad's got, and I get kind of lucky sometimes, and I'll snag a fish. But no, so I came up here just to get away from the city for a while and spend a little time with my dad and do a little fishing. At least that's what I was hoping for. Ended up not getting a whole lot of fishing in. Got a lot of sunburn though. Hey, got one.
Hey, all right, what do you got?
I don't know, we'll see. Yeah. She's starting to fight a little bit too.
Yeah, it is. Looks like a nice fish.
Yeah, normally when I do something like this, my rod starts to bend, it's either a rock or weeds. There we go.
Nice walleye.
Heck yeah.
That might be the best one of the day so far.
You wanna grab the net?
Yeah, let's try to do him let's try to do him the professional way here. That wasn't very professional. But he got in the boat.
He is in the boat.
They're wet.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Good job, Kevin.
All right, we're gonna go ahead. You got the live well up front going? I'm not fishing in the tournament, so I'm actually up here trying to catch a couple of fish for me to take home for dinner.
Here we go.
Got one.
Yeah, right here underneath the trolling motor.
All right, you want me to grab the net?
No, I can get him. This is a little nicer fish. I mean, he's nothing big, but
Yeah, I've been feeling a couple of nibbles.
should I Bassmaster him in or reach out and grab him? Oh, he's a feisty one.
He is. He's a little bitter. Nice looking fish.
You know, the way we measure these fish. Would you grab me that weigh tube back?
Oh, absolutely.
I can show you just exactly how it is we do this. Now this would be a legal fish. And this is the day of the tournament. I'll probably throw him back. We set him in here, and they jump all over the place. You kind of shade their eye. That's what this is for, and relaxes them. And we come here and pinch the tails, and that fish will hit just barely hit 17 inches. So we round up to the nearest quarter. And if he was, you know, I'm smashing him here, but see, he didn't like that either. 16 3/4 if I do it that way, we would round to 17. So we'll call him a 17 1/4. Come here, buddy. And then we use, on the back of our clipboards, we have a conversion chart. And I would just look down here. It's 17 1/4 is 1.72 pounds. And that's just the same for everybody.
Now, generally, how accurate is that chart?
You know, it depends. Every state and different companies will come out with different weigh charts and different things. On all of our circuits, you know, our Boysen fish are skinnier than our Glendo fish. You know, they're usually a little above average. These are under average. And our keyhole fish, they're, you know, pretty consistent. So I feel that this chart just blends the whole state together and just kind of makes a nice average weight. So, and that's essentially how we do it. And then we would just write that down, 17 1/4, write down the 1.72 pounds, and then, you know, hey, if you got 12 of those, at the end of the day, you just circle your best 5, turn it in. That's what I want to weigh.
Great deal.
It's that easy.
Well, good job on the fish.
No, thanks. Yeah, it was kind of fun catching him too.
Got one.
Oh, let me get out of your way.
Oh, no, I'm not pulling back that. Yeah, he's got a little fight in him. Let's see what we got here.
Oh, an eater.
There we go.
Nice walleye. Gonna get off if you don't get him in the boat.
Oh, he's fine.
Good job, Kevin.
There we go. Got another one. You know,
Suppose your dad's getting sick of filming us.
Yeah,
fish.
probably.
He's gonna have you back on the camera.
He's got to be a little
in a minute.
jealous. I wanted to come fishing. Got another one here, and
Fish.
yeah, exactly. I get to catch 2 fish, and that's the end of the day for me, I guess. So you guys fishing deep or shallow?
We're fishing deep.
Deep? What do you mind if I ask what you're fishing with?
We're using crankbaits.
25 1/4.
Okay.
26 1/2.
Very
6
nice.
and a half.
Yeah. I need the camera. Actually, he's got the camera right there, so just hold it up for him.
Very nice. Nice fish.
Okay. See if she swims away.
Oh yeah, she should. How you doing, guys?
Do you guys mind if I ask what you're fishing with?
Can I get your slip?
Fishing poles.
There we go. It's a nice looking fish.
Back here?
I don't even think he tried, but that was a pretty good shot too.
24 even.
24.
Gonna hold that one up one more time. Nice, thank you.
Yeah, there's a good one.
Yep. 25 3/4.
25 and 3/4 inch walleye is 6.46 pounds.
Well, Dan, we had a great couple days up here, and I really want to thank you for having us come up and experience the Wyoming Walleye Circuit, showing us the changes, the fun, and showing people what fun a tournament circuit like this can be. I want to thank you for putting up and fishing with my son.
That was the hardest part, Terry. Just kidding. You got a great son. He does good work for you.
Don't encourage him.
Oh, sorry.
Anyway, we want to thank you folks for joining us today too. I hope you learned a little bit about what tournament fishing can be like at maybe a level above club tournaments, and you know, maybe not to the top pro level, but a pretty good tournament circuit with some really good fishermen, good paybacks, good money. And if they're interested in the Wyoming Walleye Circuit and they want to fish in it, they need to contact you. When would you say start contacting you in January? Or
I have my brochures out around the 1st of January. I'll get those to different sporting goods stores. Will be available over the internet. And then there's the deadlines for each tournament and different things, but all that's on the brochure. You can read when it comes out.
all right, well, you know, get out. If you want to accelerate your own fishing knowledge, try fishing a couple tournaments. You'll find out how much better a fisherman you become in a hurry. Enjoy these great reservoirs in Wyoming and the walleye fishing they have to offer, and join us next week on Mountain States Fishing. The Wyoming Walleye Circuit and the opportunity it offers everybody wouldn't be available if it wasn't for, first of all, a lot of volunteers that help you out and some great sponsors that contribute money.